hydraulic fracturing is spreading across the globe.
It's amazing that what took Mother Nature millions of years to build can be destroyed in a few hours with a piece of heavy machinery. Whoa.
Welcome back. That clip from the movie trailer from Josh Fox's documentary Gasland. Now, the movie, it chronicles Josh's own experience when he's asked to lease his land for drilling. Now, it sounds like fiction, but what unfolds is a trail of secrets, lies, and contamination. Now, we should also say that since Josh did release this film, the gas industry has been none too happy. They've devoted entire websites to debunking scenes from the movie. Now, our reporter Kim Lengel, she sat down with Josh Fox, and she has more.
Yeah, Rich, you know, it's been about 2 weeks since Josh Fox's arrest on Capitol Hill when he tried to film a subcommittee hearing on hydrofracking. The footage was supposed to be part of Fox's new film Gasland II. Now, the hearing was led by a representative, Andy Harris of Maryland, a Republican and a vocal proponent of fracking. It's been reported that Harris denied Fox's film request and ordered the arrest. We talked to Josh about his arrest, about his new film, and about his experience in Dimock. Josh, thanks for a few minutes of your time. We're so happy to have you.
I'm happy to be here.
How does it feel to be out of the handcuffs?
Well, I wasn't in handcuffs for very long. They released me within 3 hours. They were the real handcuffs. They were the metal ones, not the flex cuffs, which you've seen a lot on TV.
Did it hurt?
No, actually, the officers were extremely polite, and I thank them for that. I think they were kind of confused. I asked them, you know, had they arrested people in the house recently, and the officer that arrested me said it had been 10 years.
You were quoted as saying, "I'm within my First Amendment rights, and I'm being taken out." That's pretty serious.
Well, but that's exactly what happened, and it was clear that they were specifically obstructing our film. I have to say that before the Republicans took over the Congress, we didn't have this problem.
Josh, do you feel like your arrest was more because of politics or because of you were on a fact-finding mission that some people may not have wanted out in the open?
Well, I think it's both. What this hearing was a specific attack on science. You had the EPA report on Pavilion, Wyoming, a very significant report, which stated that fracking was the likely cause of groundwater contamination of fracking chemicals into the aquifer. Now, those wonderful, amazing people in Pavilion, we've been covering them for 3.5 years. This was so important to our film. This was not about a publicity stunt. This is something of the heart. The EPA spent 3.5 years doing hundreds of samples of the groundwater. And here is this very pro-fracking chairman of this committee stated, attacking the EPA, and we wanted to show that process. We wanted to show the ugliness of this attack on investigation itself.
For the folks at home who might not know, you're working on Gasland II, which picks up and goes even further into the issue than during your first Oscar-nominated film. What can you tell us about Gasland II?
Well, I don't want to give the whole movie away. We have bigger and better explosions. It's a sequel, so you're supposed to have that. We have some chase sequences, you know. But I think you go in deeper with some of the stories of some of the families that we've worked with before that are really quite compelling. What's amazing, though, is that the specific focus of this film has to do with another layer of contamination due to fracking, which is the contamination in Washington, D.C., the contamination in Harrisburg, contamination in Albany, in Austin. Our capitals, our state and federal government are so awash in money. Though every single one of those campaign contributions is a toxic dollar to our democracy.
Josh, you touched on something that I found so interesting when we were in Dimock, this idea that people who live there, because of what the gas industry had done to them, they no longer trust organizations like the DEP. They don't believe the results that the DEP is putting out because in many cases the DEP had contracted Cabot, a gas company, to look into the science behind what's going on. And what you're speaking to is exactly right. People there no longer trust the regulators who are supposed to keep them safe.
Well, I came from 60 miles outside of Dimock. It was the first stop. And here you have people completely overrun by an industry in their own town, Halliburton trucks everywhere, people can light their water on fire, animals are losing their hair, Kids are getting sick. There's black gunk in people's washing machines. Somebody's water well exploded on New Year's Day, spontaneously combusted through this whole concrete casing up in the air. It was like visiting a country, another country, a place that was under siege. Because the most striking aspect to it that I felt was people felt that they had nowhere where to turn. They didn't know who to trust. It took me a long time to build up confidence and trust in people. You notice that guy who hands me the jar. He says, "Take this, get out of here. We don't want to talk to you on the record." You know, that family has now been on CNN and been on 60 Minutes, but at the beginning, it was pure fear. It was palpable. What's very clear right now is that we are facing a proposal in New York State that is essentially not worth it. You wouldn't pick a car that was getting an F in test ratings. You wouldn't, you know, be happy if you sent your child to school and they were failing out of school. You know, the gas industry is failing. And I think the pressure is on us now to say, well, wait a minute, we can build the society that we want rather than do this liquidation sale, this fire sale, which will destroy all the other economic development of the region and reduce the value of the state to the value of the gas that's under the ground.
If you want to see more of our interview with Josh Fox, you can head to our website, rnntv.com/hydrofracking. We have some extra footage there of Josh talking about his trip overseas as he follows the international gas industry. Rich? All
right, Kim, thank you very much. Now, as we mentioned before, you're a big part of this program, so please join our conversation and tell us what you think. Do you believe the economic benefits of fracking outweigh the risks? Just go to rnntv.com, write us a note on our message board there, and as we have tonight as well, and we will in future shows, we'll read the best comments right on the air. And Kim, why don't you tell us what we've got coming up tomorrow?
Yeah, well, tomorrow, real interesting. We head to Williamsport, Pennsylvania. What used to be known as the home for the Little League World Baseball is now known for something much different. The fracking boom has turned this once third-tier city into one of the fastest-growing economies in the country. We'll talk to the winners and the losers in the game of fracking. And as always, you can tweet me your thoughts on fracking at Kim Langle on Twitter. Rich?
Tweet. Thank you very much, Kim. Now, don't forget, everybody, tune in. This Thursday, we will dedicate our entire program, an extended forum on the issue of hydrofracking, and we will dedicate, as I said, every minute of our show to this issue here. Again, that is this Thursday, February 16th, obviously beginning at 6 o'clock. All right, everybody, we'll be right back, so please stay with us.